Hello and welcome to today's episode where just briefly, just before we begin, I want to mention a couple things that kind of slipped out in the previous video about the build of this PC, which is a 3-book PC. And pretty cool, right? I had the motherboard laid around from a skateboard PC, but you might have seen on a previous video. And also someone gave me this, I think Tony gave me this case, which is a lovely case. And I was thinking, how cool would that be to have a PC in the shape of a case like this? And also I had the plastic flower pot laying around like this. And I was thinking, how about creating a PC in the shape of a flower pot from which grows the tree? And so that's how the idea came out with this. And coincidentally, we visited the Sir Isaac Newton's birthplace, which we made a video about. And in that place, we've seen a lot of books like this, as well as obviously the apple tree. So that kind of fell in place altogether. And so we've created this copper tree with the aluminum base, as you can see over there. And it's a bit of a concept PC. It does work, it functions properly, and so on. Although I might have been a bit more attentive with the details and created a bigger air inlets over here. And obviously this is the soundproofing foam painted in a gold paint. And initially it meant to be just a paper. Unfortunately, cutting out the paper like this, it's a task on its own, and it was just a mess. So we went into creating a soundproofing foam with this. And so here it is, 3-book PC, which actually works if I press the button. Well, it's not connected. The main purpose of this video for today is to try another thing that I was wondering for quite some time, is whether that copper tree is a good idea to cool down a processor. Copper is really good heat conductor, and aluminium is a good heat dissipator. I was thinking, what about if we are going to make a tree that is made out of aluminium and the base is made out of copper, so the other way around, and also to compare different results between the actual CPU cooler and different trees. And so that's what we're going to do today. I've got copper plates here that I need to cut out, but I'll spare you the time to look at cutting this out. And I've got anodized aluminium wires to make maybe a bit more interesting tree, colorful. The heat dissipation from aluminium is still the same, whether it's anodized or not. I'm not an expert, but correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, let's do this. Okay, now, so as you can see, I've done the base of the tree. Unlike the previous base, I have done it much quicker by just simply using an angle grinder and making those slits and those diagonal slits over here and just cutting out quite quickly. I don't think it's gonna reduce the heat exchange. I don't think it's going to be a big difference between those two in terms of holes or slits. It's not supposed to make a big difference. Now, yeah, this time it's much quicker, and I think I'm going to choose a purple and green to make a purple tree trunk and green sort of leaves. Maybe even use some other colors, I don't know yet. We'll see. So yeah, much quicker efficiency. And so here is a little progress, and this is how it looks. It is substantially bigger tree, much thicker wires, and so obviously it is thicker than the original copper. as you can see here, the comparison. And I'm just about to incorporate this purple wire to sort of make these trunks, the purple trunks. I did put the different colors, so as you can see it's green and orange and silver, just to see how it sort of looks all together, different colors, and to have a variety, or I guess, yeah. And this is how it looks. Still a bit of work to do. It is, I have to admit, quite time consuming. This took me about 2 hours so far, so, and it's gonna take at least half an hour, but it's all fun anyway. And here we are. I have to admit this one is a little bit overdone, but that's not the point. The point is I have tried different materials and different colors. I think just plain purple looks fantastic, and this is comparison to a previous tree. I think plain purple and plain silver, that would be really nice. Anyway, so what are your bets? Which one is going to be the most efficient one? Whether the original copper plate and aluminium wires, aluminium plate and copper wires, which one? Let me know down in the comments below which one is the best solution. Alright, let's test this. So again, it took a little bit longer than I thought. First of all, I had to adjust the heatsink to fit this CPU, because this is a different heatsink. Okay, so I've got the Linux Rosa installed at the moment, and on this terminal is these command sensors, so it'll display the temperature, and this is the command for sysbench, which is benchmarking CPU command. So I'm gonna start by checking the temperature. I'm gonna press start with this, and as you can see, the temperature is pretty much ambient, 36 degrees Celsius. And now I'm going to run this command here for the system bench. Okay, here are the results. It's not, I don't think it's an adequate test for temperature. I might run the little game to see whether that has any impact on the temperature whatsoever. Does it rise? $42. Okay, it does rise. Okay, so at this point I've got this copper tree installed, and both of the side fans are working like this. They are a bit loud, but that's not the main point of this build. It is avoidable by installing a little bit more expensive for better fans. Those are like 70 pence fans, so what can you expect? Okay, so I'm gonna run terminal again, sensors, 39 degrees. Okay, we're gonna monitor that. I'm gonna play the game again quickly and see the if it rises or not. $42, so it does rise. But also you have to take into consideration the fact that the case is open, so the the airflow is, there's no air pressure as much as it is when the lid is closed. The 42 is acceptable, it can go up to 82 safely. Or 43, yeah, 43, 50. So it's a good temperature. It does actually cools down the CPU perfectly fine. Alright, it's time for this one, for this tree then. Now I've installed this second tree and we're gonna test that. Oh, it's high, 48 degrees. I think the chances are it might be high because the wires on the base of the tree underneath the copper plate are not exactly level, they're a bit kinked like this. And even though I put copious amount of a thermal paste, that might influence the temperature as well. It's 48 degrees. 44. Clearly it goes down. 46. Maybe because I pressed it a little bit harder. Yeah. And so 46 degrees. 44. Yes, it's going down. Yes. Yes, so it seems to me that my theory was right. The aluminum wires on the copper plate is a better solution for cooling, clearly. It cools down much quicker despite the fact that the base of the tree might not be even 45. Okay, yeah. So the conclusion is, my conclusion is that it's totally worth it to make a tree, and although it's not fully scientific result, my personal opinion is that copper plate and aluminum wires is the best choice. Maybe silver and purple will look the best, and it's totally valid to cool CPU like this. Now if you're interested in making something similar, or you just wonder why I bought this anodized wires, I put the links in the description section below, so you can check that out. And if you buy it, it helps the channel a little bit. So thanks very much. Thanks very much for watching, and here's a little retrospect of an update for the skateboard computer. I just wanted to do a quick update and sort of gather my thoughts about what's going on with this skateboard computer. Since this skateboard computer is inherently, it's open case, right? So it has to look good. So there's always some room for improvement, of course. And I also thought that my struggle with VirtualBox and making some of the games work in VirtualBox kind of stuck in one point, and the only thing that I can think of to make it work is a very good hardware. So that brings me to a quite a major upgrade for this computer. I thought, what can I do? So basically, all those wires can be sleeved, right, to make it looks nicer. And since I have to sleeve it, it only makes sense to get modular power supply, right? This is not a modular power supply. So that's one thing to upgrade. Another one, to get a new processor as well as a GPU, right? So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna upgrade it, and after a long period of a lot of thinking and so on, I decided to even water cool it. Okay, so not only that, some of the things, some little things, like for example, the fact that I have to switch it on by using this trusty screwdriver. There you go. And that's a bit of a pain. I mean, with the screwdriver, that can be good, can it? So I need to install some button. I was thinking right here maybe, to make it work. And also, since we're going fairly hardcore with upgrades, I think if you watch my previous video how I installed everything on the back, you realize that it's a bit rubbish, right? So I came up with a new idea of how to hold everything in place. So I'm gonna use ALUMINIUM bars, which gonna be PVC shrink wrapped, in order to hold power supply, both hard drives on the back, and of course, since it's going to be water cooled, it's going to be a water reservoir with a pump and radiator. I was thinking about type of radiator that's going to go here, which is, well, because it is, I want water cool the processor as well as GPU. I would need at least two 120 millimeter radiators. I was thinking about one 240 millimeter, but I don't think it's gonna look good. So instead, I'm gonna have 120 millimeter radiator right here, and the other one right here. Obviously with fans and everything. Initially, I was thinking to put the reservoir with the pump right here. After receiving the water cooling components, I got this it's called Aqua PC from some German manufacturer, really nice looking water cooling, and it's absolutely heavy, therefore it'd be really irresponsible to hang such a weight just on a PCI Express slot. That's what sort of halts this project for another couple of days, because I need to order a extension cable for PCI Express slot, and so that I can mount the GPU flush. So that makes not enough space here, so I would have to move in motherboard a little bit more towards the right hand side, and so that the water reservoir and the pump will be here. So that's makes a lot of changes. I already drew some diagrams how it's gonna look like when the water reservoir will be here, and now it changes everything. But that's okay. I think it's gonna look even cooler. Because of water cooling, this fan is gonna go away. That makes me a little bit concerned about the cooling the rest of the motherboard. At the moment, the temperature of this, well, it used to peak about 52 degrees Celsius. So I'm gonna keep an eye on this thing, and if the temperature is gonna rise after water cooling, I'm gonna have to think of some, let's say, some fans on the RAM that are gonna cool the motherboards as well. Hopefully that's not gonna be an issue. So yeah. Oh yeah. Another thing is, because I'm upgrading power supply, it's gonna be much bigger than the one that's behind here, and therefore I'm gonna place it on a slight angle so that the entire computers can stand right here and be on a slight angle. The reason why I'm doing this is because after upgrades and everything, it's going to be quite heavy, so it's going to be good to just stand it right here. And instead of this computer here, I'm going to put the old one, which is right here. Yeah, and that's that. So yeah, really excited about this project. And yeah, let's get to it. Magic of television, magic of video. You'll see the progress right now where I have to wait for the rest of the parts to come over. Right.